Greetings, Musto0063 here once again to continue on with Mega Man 9. Just the one Robot Master stage left, and I feel a strange surge within me to get this one out of the way. Let's see if we can't go shock Plug Man. This stage, man, this stage, ugh. But we do start out easily enough. Some tellies that aren't too difficult to avoid at this point in time, and a few electric roller enemies that just revolve around the platforms. And I would advise moving quickly toward the end. Last thing you'll want is tellies spawning in from those bottom right pipes. Jump the roller that's heading down, and unless you're going for a speed run, just wait out the one that's heading up. A couple of Mets, don't need to worry about these ones, and an actually irritating precision cannon that you need to be quite careful of. Try to trick it into firing upwards rather than more horizontally. The projectiles will be much easier to dodge that way. Oh, this Met, how I hate you. Need to land on the right-hand edge of the last rear-pin spring block, oh, and yeah, rear-pin spring blocks by the way, to trick the Met into popping out and firing. Otherwise you'll only fire when you try to jump toward the platform, and that will never end well, trust me. Shadow Mega Men, once you've moved to the door looking in the background, you'll either need to quickly turn around and kill them, or, and it's probably preferable on that previous screen, leg it. And wow, reappearing displaying block sections in the dark so you can barely see where you need to go. And over bottomless pits, just adding a little extra annoyance. I mean, not too difficult when you're familiar enough with the level, but still. Lots of players really don't like this Mega Man staple, so turning out the lights is rather cruel. And just look how long this section goes on for too. I actually hung around a bit longer to demonstrate how to pick up the E-Tank, but if you do go for it, watch out for a Shadow Mega Man that will immediately chase you. And in case you were wondering, as that footage proves, they do move faster than you, so use the terrain to your advantage. For example, for this Shadow Mega Man, trick it into landing on the low ledge, with you remaining on the higher ledge and keep shooting at it. Eventually it'll jump up and you can take it out. For the tellies, I like to fake 3 out on the left hand side here and keep all 3 on the screen. This ensures none appear on the right hand side, where I guarantee they'll be smack dab in your way. One last reappearing displaying block segment, because why not? Over spikes, by the way, because, well, why not? And if you do mess this up, it's nigh impossible to save yourself unless you can land on the telly before you hit the spikes. Yay! Hang back to the left there, again unless you're in speedrun mode, and all the electric rollers will head down the ladder, off screen. And just in case that all wasn't enough, a big stomper just in front of the boss gate. But if you thought the level was bad, Plug Man is considerably worse. He spends all his time jumping around the room, firing plug balls at you which roll along the floor, walls and ceiling, and drop from the ceiling when they're directly above Mega Man. While this may not sound too bad, it is, trust me. Dodging Plug Man as well as these plug balls is an enormous pain, and I don't think the plug-shaped terrain helps any either. It's an insanely hectic fight like how Castlevania Freeze Man, but the difference here is that you can't lock Plug into a set pattern. Well, technically it is possible, but I've never accomplished it, and I really don't know how or if you can force him into one. Just 2 hits was very good, at least for me, so a pretty decent fight that I'm quite happy with. And in case you're wondering, that was a circuit ball we just picked up. You'll collect this from whichever Robot Master you defeat last, it's not just Plug who has one, although being an electric Robot Master, it actually turns out to be quite appropriate. And I get Plug Ball, a yet another useful weapon that you can fire along the floor, walls and ceilings, and is therefore especially good for taking out otherwise hard-to-hit enemies. Okay, we'd actually have a cutscene here, but I'll save that for next time. There's just a small matter of whether or not I could get a perfect run to resolve. And I realise what some of you might be thinking. Musto, you just cleared the level there without taking any damage. So surely it was only a matter of time till you beat Plug Man, right? No. Absolutely not. This stage is a nightmare to perfect run. And from the outset, I was pretty sure that Plug was going to get the full 10 out of 10 from me. But then this happened. realise I'm going to pretty much spoil what my difficulty analysis stage rating is, but I'm sorry. I want to say right up front that this was the hardest stage, to date at least, that I successfully managed a perfect run. Plugman is obviously a huge part of that, but don't go thinking that just because I cleared the level without taking damage during my Let's Play, that it doesn't have any significant trouble spots. And here's the first of them. Not only this, as I mentioned before, surprisingly accurate and annoying cannon, but this single blasted Met. This thing alone accounted for around half of my level outtakes and just shy of getting into a double-digit amount. It is so easy to not land sufficiently right on the last block, meaning the Met won't fire at you, and as soon as you try to reach the ledge, you'll get clobbered by it. Or, because you're trying to land on the very right edge of the block, you overshoot the block altogether and land on the spikes. That Met, along with the one cannon in Flashman stage in Mega Man 2, was one of the most frequent perfect run ending enemies I ever encountered. Oh, and the cannon, which I nearly forgot about, ended another 4 runs on top of the 9 the Met did. And although I probably really shouldn't be messing up this section, given the total number of stage attempts I ended up with, clumsiness is bound to set in every now and then, and sure enough it happened here, although thankfully just the once. But a further 2 mess-ups while trying to deal with this Shadow Mega Man. The terrain really doesn't help you out in trying to elude that one. And a further 2 tiny mess-ups on the reappearing disappearing block segment here. I know, but this isn't the easiest to time properly, and fatigue was definitely a factor here. But it was the last point in the stage to trip me up. So that just leaves Plugman. And you know what? It would be almost criminal of me to talk over this fight, this being what I consider to be, to date at least, my finest hour. So I'm going to shut up, and hope that you enjoy this. This one tested the limits of my resolve. I came so close to throwing in the towel and just accepting that I wasn't going to be able to pull this one off. Is it a coincidence that plug spelt backwards is gulp? That just about sums up my feelings perfectly. Oh, and speaking of perfect, this took me 3 hours and 35 minutes to finally get done. During which time I failed 67 times, with 49 of those failures coming against the Robot Master. 49, making Plug easily the hardest of all Robot Masters so far that I've been able to perfect run. And hopefully there won't be one anywhere nearly as difficult as this in Mega Man 10. Level wise, there's much worse out there. 18 outtakes sounds like a lot, but they only made up just over a quarter of the total. The reappearing disappearing block sections tripped me up a little, well, only really the last one, I'd say the others are pretty simple, and that cannon just before the first reappearing disappearing block section is somewhat irritating, but that bloody Met at the end of the first reappearing disappearing block segment, comfortably the biggest obstacle of the entire level. It's positioned so freaking annoyingly. You have to jump to the right hand edge of the last reappearing disappearing block to wake it up before you try jumping to the solid platform. If you don't, it'll wake up when you're in midair and tank you with its pellet shots without you being able to do a thing about it. So in addition to not jumping far enough, that also leads to failures where you jump too far, overshoot the last block, and look like a complete idiot. I hate that net. But I hate Plug even more. Once again, for a Robot Master with only one attack, I'm not going to count jumping, what a pain in the arse. He fires Plug balls along the ground, then once they climb the wall and reach the ceiling, they drop down when they get above Mega Man. Doesn't sound too bad, so why are they so threatening? To be honest, even I can't really offer a good answer to that question, other than they just are. Seriously, you will have a hell of a time trying to avoid the Plug balls and Plug Man when he starts bounding around the room. Does the uneven floor contribute? Definitely, but it's difficult to quantify just how additionally awkward that makes things. Now, it is possible to lock him into a pattern where all he does is jump backwards and forwards in the centre area, rather than all over the screen. But getting him into that pattern is not especially easy. I never managed to. But in all honesty, that has to be the best tactic. Plugging away, the way I did, while it looked mightily impressive on the successful run, it looked equally dreadful when I failed. Either way though, short-circuiting Plug Man is incredibly difficult. Don't get me wrong, the feeling of elation at getting this stage done was greater than for any other, but 49 outtakes on a Robot Master would surely piss anyone off, right? Plug gets a 9 out of 10 from me, and frankly, if I could give him more, I would. He definitely earns his place alongside Shadow and Turbo in being the toughest stages I've been able to perfect run. The level isn't as easy as Shadow's, but thankfully it's nowhere near as difficult as Turbo's. Apart from that sodding met at the end of the first reappear disappearing block section, I can't really complain about the level. Clumsiness will occur, and I feel like almost all other stage failures were down to this, rather than anything being that difficult. Okay, remembering all the reappearing disappearing block patterns, and there are a lot of these sections throughout the level, might hamper a lot of people, but I don't typically have many problems with them. But then there's Plug. If you can lock him into a loop, you'll make life a lot easier for yourself. If you can't, best of luck taking him down. You'll need all the skill you can muster, and probably a dose of luck too. Hands down, one of the toughest Robot Masters in the entire Classic series to get a Buster only no damage run on. But he's done. I've got my clean sweep of Mega Man 9 Robot Master stages, and I never have to attempt this ever again. Time for me to take a break from my perfect run duties, as next up is the question mark fortress. Can't give away who the villain of the piece is just yet. And after Mega Man and Bass's nightmare set of fortress stages, I'm looking forward to a set that are nowhere near as long and nowhere near as annoying. I think I deserve it. See you next time. Cheerio.